ish.
I'm making it.
All right. I am opening up. I'm trying to remember my folders where I have everything saved.
I've got a
Um,
blank document and
so
um,
Chandra and I were doing so much prep on the prompt that we forgot to do the prep of actually reviewing the stories we wrote.
that's a true fact, a thing that happened.
Yeah.
I think in this is 21, right?
Yep. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm seeing the bonus stuff that we wrote
Mm-hmm.
that day, and it was the prompt was if people could update. Oh, I, it's like memory lane for us. Like, going, oh, I love that. Like you're looking at like summer camp photos and stuff, going, that was so fun.
That's hilarious. It. I
All
mean,
right.
it really is though.
Yeah.
This is edit 4.
Yes, it is. I am doing a deal here where I gotta save it special because I got and I want to keep my drafted away from my edited. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
um be better about.
I have two separate, so it's in the same thing, but I have two separate folders within that. So I have my in my drive, and that's making it easier.
Yeah.
It's still not perfect. I'm still finding stuff, and I'm like, that shouldn't. It doesn't even go here.
Yeah. Oh my god. I know we're supposed to look at our old stuff and be like, look how much I've grown because I'm able to fix this. But I have to admit, the other side of me is going, you stupid idiot. What the hell were you thinking? What were you on? You need to share.
I mean, yeah. I mean, sometimes I'm like, that wasn't so bad, and then other times I'm like, I tell the same story in so many different ways. Sometimes it's really frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, I usually go the let's make it seem like it's doomsday and then there's a happy like twist and be like, oh no, it's not what you think.
Eva says, "Stupid and idiot are on our mean word list. Don't say those things to yourself, Natalie. Not even in your head."
Bravo and well said. Like that is definitely like the good self-talk. That is uh one of my therapists, I've been to so many over the years, mostly because they rotate, not because I'm just like they go, you need to see someone else.
You're
I've
like,
done what I can. But they rotate, but it's what's really funny though is that they um that one of them said, imagine when you're talking to yourself that you're talking to your daughter who just went through the same thing. Would you
hmm.
say those same things to her? And I'm like, no, of course not. It's like, then why are you saying it to yourself? And I'm like, okay, good point.
First of all, how dare you point out that I have been hypocritical in this?
Yeah.
Second of all, I don't really have a good reason for doing this. We had a real life bullying situation yesterday with idiot too. I cried last night over it. I didn't witness it, but daddy, oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. I mean, it's
Aww.
really hard for for kids because you like what do you do? And sometimes having an adult looking out just means that the intensity at other times when there's no one there can be worse, and it's just bullies suck. Is that on the mean word list? But I mean they do, so
Yeah, like you can't remove all bad out of the world, but you can at least remove what bad you put into the world. And I feel like self talk is one of those things that can help change your mind. Like, I know I was playing video games and my husband plays them too. And then our son got into it. And I noticed my son was kind of acting like his dad and going, oh man, when he would fail at something. So I started going, oh, look, we can try again.
Oh, that's so nice though.
Yeah, like an excited, we get to try again, and trying to make it not a mini my husband. Trying to just let's make my son a little bit better than us. Yeah, because I had anger issues growing up, like so did Alex. Like I didn't want that for I don't want to deal with that. Bless my parents.
I think the thing that's most difficult about me is that I'm really obtuse sometimes, unless people specifically say don't do X because of Y.
Hey, by the way, did you save the Google Doc that we're gonna share on screen?
The new one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did I share it with you? No? Why would I do that?
Okay. But back to what you were saying. Hopefully I didn't run you off on the
topic. Yeah, I get like a dog with a bone about stuff, and sometimes it's really not helpful.
Are you talking about like that super focus, like it must be perfect? And
yeah, like in order to like confirm, I'm like, but did we do this? Is it this way? And it's like, I didn't use the exact words that you used, but yes. And I'm like so annoying about it. I know in school and to my parents growing up that teachers and my parents were just like, make it stop. Make it stop.
Makes me think of the TikTok of the song. And it's just like this lovely song, and then it's like, make it stop, make it stop. And it's usually a background of this person like showing a story of like something really traumatic that happened to them. Mm-hmm. And like how doctors didn't believe their pain or something. It's mostly women, I admit.
Yeah.
I hate that. Okay, just posted mine. I'm going to share the screen. Let's get around to the right areas.
All of this, I'm just being specific. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Oh, wait, I'm catching up on chat because I was in the middle of the other stuff. Oh, thank you on reviewing my Flash. Chandra, if you haven't reviewed the Flash, I got a new version that if you have time today, you can do a quick read before I submit tonight. For anybody confused, I'm doing a short story, which is the first time I've done a short story, by the way. And it's with NYC Midnight, because I just can't help myself to sign up for things.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I gotta share the screen. I was getting lost in chat.
No, you're good. I sent you the link.
Yep, I got it. I've already pasted. Okay, so recap. Chandra's story is Carter is like this big mogul guy. Like it seems like he has a lot of money and can't quite tell if he's like mafia or if he just got slighted and decided to do mafia tendencies, by the way. But he cuts out the tongue of Mark, which you find out later in the story. But at this point, it's been a year. If you don't know it, sorry. I think we passed spoiler alert. Not that we're a big famous movie that you should have seen by now, but we'll go with it. He has a jar with the tongue in it, which is just an awesome flex. But then his wife comes in, Geneva. Wait,
is it actually Geneva or is it Genevieve?
You got a here.
Yeah, Geneva, it is.
Okay. Comes in, and she's actually Mark's sister. And so it kind of ends with them leaving the space. And by the way, the brother is almost the stepbrother. And I just love that line of stepbrother. Carter corrected. Let's not get over sentimental. Just, it's a mood. Like that is such a character thing of like I feel like those people who say like stepbrother or brother, like kind of just like throw family connections names like that as a hierarchy, they're the type of people who almost prefer their found family over real family. Or like the family, not real, because that makes it seem like the real family's better, but like the found family versus the grown up with family and stuff. And I don't know, I like that. So the things I had in response is Geneva, like we didn't really have much of her reaction. Like, is her stare still locked in on the tongue, or did she try to run to help her brother, or can you see her fighting the urge to protect him or something, because it's your family in pain, and it seems like she has those ties, like, and stuff. It's though I feel like with the line, I wish there was a different way to handle this. I just feel bad letting this happen to my brother. Like, I feel like she understands something needs to happen, but but she wasn't quite sure what else to do. But she was like, it's not this, but I feel like we could have done better. And everything. So definitely got a vibe that she understands. Like, she's not countering her husband, at least. Just like, you put it at a 10. Was there a 9 option? Like, because it looks like we went straight to 10. So I didn't take it as like, you suck at leadership or anything. But yeah, I think that was my only feedback, if I remember correctly, is that just I wanted more of her reaction, because she's like our barometer of sanity, I guess. So how bad is she reacting to this? Or is this a normal everyday thing? And even then, normal everyday thing, it's still happening to your brother, not some random person who slighted the family. So
I think Geneva needs more character development.
Yeah. I feel like that's where your focus is going to be, because I feel like everything else you did well. Like, I pictured the room perfectly. Like, I feel like the description's there, and it's all in one room of it. Like, I picture they're in a really like the penthouse of a really tall building. There's like an oakwood desk and stuff, and and something that could be even better, not even better, but add to it is to protect the like pristine Persian rug, there's a plastic tarp that the guy's laying on or something, like they know how to protect their things type thing. And that just adds to it. Like, they're prepared. They just got a plastic tarp to protect their expensive stuff. Either that or the Persian rug is rolled up and there's a plastic tarp in its place. Like rolled up and leaned against the wall or something. But even then, oh God, now I'm thinking.
So you gave me an idea, because I had a different vision of the floor material for the room.
Oh, so now you can explain that. The thought I just had was even with the rug rolled up, is that if it gets really bloody, blood splatter can go across the room and you would still ruin the freaking rug. So,
well, I started to Google, will water clean blood off of marble? But here's the thing. the search results that are like recommended for this.
Yeah.
Because I only put in M. I hadn't finished filling in the word.
Oh God, chair.
Mattress, metal, marble's the third option. Mold, my body, medication, and medicine.
What the hell?
What I need to do is know is what are y'all doing?
Yeah. Yes, this is my first short story. By the way, and no, we haven't been asked to critique for CGL, but I still have the book, like the submission for CGL's flash fiction. I have it saved, and I plan to do it at some point. Like, luckily, it's not due till March, but I plan to submit. Of course, flash fictions. There was poems, flashes, and then isn't there a short story option?
I think there was going to be. And I know we talked a little bit about it last time because both Natalie and I were like, we would like to submit at some point. So,
yeah. So I know we're not going to be judging this go around, but I have to admit, and I said this before, I'm like, I'm afraid to submit. Like, I judged this, and now I'm submitting, and like, what if I don't place it all?
Yeah, it's like, well, this is embarrassing.
But there is the phrase, those who can't do, teach. And what is teaching?
There is.
Judging.
There is. If teaching I submit, I'm not telling nobody. I mean, Natalie, you'll know. I'm not going to say anything.
I plan to submit. We'll see what happens. The end.
Mm-hmm. I plan to submit. Laura's going to win if she...
Yeah, flash and short story, this contest, as well as a poem, but of course that's not Chandra and my forte. The flash prompts show up in the form, yep. And there is no prompt for the short stories.
Ooh, I have some short stories. Ooh, I have a story I might submit. I don't know if it can.
Oh, there's no poems this kind. Okay, cool. Well, then let's keep it in flash short story. But yeah, I know we haven't been asked. But if I was, I'm assuming you're desperate, and I would gladly withdraw my submission.
I would do that, except for short stories. I think I would just submit a short story and I could skip flash, but I definitely want to submit.
Yeah. Oh, sweetie, I'm echoing again. I'm not sure if it's my boisterous self.
How's that?
The speaker and the microphone are just too close to each other. That is much better. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess that's my feedback is expand upon the space and give us, Geneva is our barometer. So we need like feeling from her. She's like the sane person in the group. So I want to see are like aghast at least for her, even if it's just for like a split second across her face, you know. Like this isn't, it's normal, but she's still not used to it is the way I see it, like especially if she's married to Carter.
Okay, is this even better?
I can barely hear you on microphone, by the way.
Okay. How about now?
Much better. Yes.
Is there any echo?
No echo.
Okay, I put on headphones, so.
Oh, bless you, dear. Yeah, I got my headphones on.
Well, that was actually possible because I cleaned my desk. So now I can find my headphones.
Have fun at the basketball game. Though when I saw b-ball, I immediately thought baseball, but I remembered your previous comment saying basketball. So
the answer for getting blood off of marble is to wipe the stain with a sponge dipped in cold water. If the stain remains, mix a poultice. You know this is not for me because they said mix a poultice of water, powdered detergent, and chlorine bleach.
Yeah. So we're learning about how to remove blood from marble. I really like that tip about cold water, though.
Well, if you're using chlorine, you always have to use cold water.
That makes sense. That's right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, good pro tip. I think it said start with cold water, so I think that's probably important. But also, then they say for the second part to add chlorine. So if you're using chlorine, you do have to use cold water.
But yeah, that's my only feedback on yours. Quick summary of my story that I wrote last time is John and this kid. Did I ever give him a name? I don't think I gave the kid a
I
name.
don't think so. I think it's first person, so the kid's name is
That's right. So didn't give him a name. But John is promised this kid's mom that he'd take care of him, and I guess it's they got to go make a deal. Mm-hmm. But they know it's going to be serious because they passed the kid a gun. And as I said in the previous story, it was so hard to write someone who doesn't know guns. Like, and I thought about that. Like, writers, sometimes we got to write somebody who doesn't know anything about something we know a lot about or something, and it can be painful, but it's also good to put yourself in that perspective of like, this is brand spanking new, what would I call it, you know?
So I think that's interesting because it, like, when you are teaching the class, I think that's the point of having a section for questions, right? Because you can think of what you think people need to know about a subject as an expert.
Yeah.
But you don't know where everyone's starting. So them asking questions is an opportunity for you to find out where they're starting and start to fill in gaps. And sometimes that's enough to make you realize how big the gap is from where they're starting. And then you move back and you include more information at the beginning of training. And so having that definition section is a good option. But one thing you can do too, and this is just a thought for, like, you know, I grew up around guns, but not really handling them. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, like, you could get like someone who doesn't know anything about the subject and interview them.
That is an idea.
And then, like, you know, you could interview me about it, and I would be like, you know,
where I would just have a diagram. What would you call this?
Yeah, exactly. Label this picture for me.
I would, if I was handed something that I know nothing like about, like engines, even though I do know pistons and like O-rings and stuff like that. But I'm just imagining I would get this anxiety, like as if I'm gonna be graded, even though I just know it's a barometer check to help a fellow writer.
Yeah.
I would treat it like a real test, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know the answer about something I've never been exposed to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be helpful, though, if you're writing something where you're like, I really need this to come across as this person doesn't know anything about a subject.
Yeah. Morning, Shannon.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think that's actually an important point, is like, not everyone's been exposed to the same things. So even something mundane, I'm going to bring up this example again, but Chandra wasn't really familiar with Ferris wheels. Mm-hmm. And so my description of the little, what I call the carriage, was kind of poor for that, for her to be able to follow on what was in the story. And of course, we never want our readers to be pulled away.
But on the other hand, I was thinking about this. I was talking, y'all know I grew up in kind of a culty situation. So there's some real world things that most people in my age group would be familiar with or comfortable with that I'm just like, And so I think that's part of, like, character background too. Like, you can't calculate for that, right? You can't calculate for the fact that in your readership, I never watched Lilo and Stitch growing up, but I watched so much I Love Lucy, like it's stupid. So like, there's no way for you to know that as a 6-year-old. Instead of watching Lilo and Stitch, I was watching I Love Lucy.
Yeah, I was watching Bewitched
Yeah,
and
see,
I
I
Dream
couldn't
of
watch
Jeannie.
that. Couldn't watch that. Um, I didn't watch SpongeBob until I was an adult. I love SpongeBob, but I didn't watch it till I was already an adult.
It depends how I feel sometimes with SpongeBob. I see the pothead side of it too much, and I'm like, oh, this is painful.
That's funny.
Okay.
But yeah, like I guess that's the main thing is you can't really like for the best like pie slice of the population is going to know what you're talking about, even though I didn't specifically know what you're talking about.
Well, people can look things up and
Yeah.
stuff too. All right. So the main thing with my story, by the way, the deal ends up going south, and John gets or Frank, who is taking care of the kid, ends up getting his. Oh wait, no, John is taking the kids.
So I had a couple questions about this.
Yeah, I changed the name multiple times, so I got to fix the name situation. And then there was dialogue tags was another thing that.
And then John and Frank don't get along, and I don't know why. I know that they really don't like each other.
Yeah.
But I also don't know why bringing the kid was a mistake. Um, and
Because it
I
went
was kind
south.
of well, and so that's the I don't really know why it went south because he says you made two mistakes. One was bringing the kid, the other one was coming at all.
Yeah.
So
Like he was planning for it to go south the whole time.
So
Like,
in that case, though, I think it would make more sense for it to be you made two mistakes. One was coming here today or coming at all, and the other was bringing the kid.
okay, so switch it. Got it.
Yeah, that would make more sense to me. In that, um, he's not gonna like if it was the other way around, he would have maybe sent the kid instead of. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. No, I get right when you said it. I was like, all right. Full on Matthew McConaughey.
Sometimes I'm like using words, but like sometimes they don't do a sense. There were a couple things with just like line spacing and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just doing that real quick because I can.
Just fixing your stuff.
I wouldn't say that. It's formatting.
Yeah. So dialogue tags. And then I want to say that there was. I think I had to use North Star. It might have been one of the words.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And so, and I knew that threw you off when I was talking about.
Yes, because if the kid hasn't been there, usually when you're in danger, right, you try to go to a place where you feel safe. So why is the kid going to a random place that he's never been before?
Gotcha.
If he knows the city, he should know what that building is, and there should be a reason why he's going there.
Now, yeah, like maybe it's like from there he'll be able to go to his house. Is kind of what I'm thinking will end up.
Yeah, I mean, what if something that might be, and I don't know, this would be kind of a bit more backstory to include. Let me see how much words.
Oh, we got the word space. Don't worry, it's me.
Okay. There could be a backstory in there, and I'm not sure where you would. Yeah, you've got another 400 something words. There could be a backstory in there somewhere where maybe he's talking to his mom because there's that promise to make his mom safe, or that he be kept safe. Words. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. So maybe within that, there's a memory of him and his mom being like at a park or something close to that building. And he's like overhearing the conversation between, I think is it Frank and his mom?
Yeah, Frank.
So he's overhearing that conversation while they're standing in the park and he's looking up at the building. So maybe that's a reason why he might want to go back. If that building has been a landmark, or if he doesn't actually know the city and he's just like picking a point that's far away that he's like, if I can just get over there that's really far away from here, maybe I'll be safe there.
Yeah, and then he can collaborate or
Yeah.
find his feet and stuff. So okay.
Yeah. So as long as there's some kind of reason, some kind of familiarity that's directing him to that point, I don't have a problem with it. But yeah, whatever, give it a reason that it makes him feel safe.
Dragon. All right. You ready for the timer?
Yep. Let me share the timer. Mm, 20 minutes, right?
Yep, 20.
Look at me go. I'm getting better.
Yay.
All right. We will begin in 3, 2, and 1. Da, 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 da.
Not sure if you could see me, but I like saw the thing go away and I'm like, no.
I did. I did. I was like, hee, sorry. I
Okay.
made some changes. Some of them I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's the hard part of editing, right? You're like, does this make
Yeah.
it better or worse?
Like you turn into the optometrist, like one or two, one or two. I don't know. It's kind of the same. Same.
Can you be
Can I
more
see one?
specific?
Can I see one again?
All of that.
Oh my god, I gotta create that meme now. It's just so relatable.
Yeah, Dobby, claws.
Okay, so I am pasting this into. Yeah. Okay.
I
I
don't
I
even know that
didn't change much, I will say, but I think what I did kind of helped
Mm-hmm.
add to it. Now I just gotta share the screen. All right.
Dobby, no.
Okay, and we're gonna zoom in a little bit because we're nice. There we go. Okay, I will go ahead and read yours. Carter had a philosophy about these things. He knew exactly what the problem was with most people. They got complacent. They stopped being hungry for it. They'd start a feud over anything, tried to build their own place, a skyscraper, so they could paste their name on it. Yeah. Most people didn't have that kind of money. But since they'd gotten what they assumed would be the first of many big time deals in the city, they figured success was a surefire shot. Carter frowned, running a finger over the edge of the cufflinks his grandfather gave him. The cufflinks weren't expensive, but they were the only thing Carter had left of his family that 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 and the money. He was the last of the Lawrence. He was the last Lawrence, Carter the Third. But he didn't intend to let the legacy end with him. Here's the thing about coming after my family, he said, turning from the window and walking toward the man on the floor. We all get we all fight Scrappy. And I know you're going to say they're all dead. And that's true. But you don't know what they did on the way down. You don't know what they did so I can make it, Mark. That's where you messed up. Carter stood, watching Mark crawl across the white marble floor. Blood dribbled from the corners of his mouth, leaving streaks in his wake. You're so quiet, Carter said. Oh, right. He held up the jar and shook it. You know, think I think this will cause quite a scandal for your family. How are they going to explain that you can't speak anymore? Carter moved closer, tenting his fingers and balancing on his toes as he moved along beside Mark, looking into his watery, tear-stained eyes. Carter smiled. It's going to be a challenge for me to get away, but now that you've transferred my offshore assets back to me, I won't have to worry about coming here again. Oh God, Carter, is that a tongue in a jar? Geneva asked as she stood in stocking feet by the door. I'm sorry, darling, Carter said, standing and turning his back to Mark. I didn't mean for you to see that. The helicopter is going to be here in 5. We should get up to the roof, she said, still trying to look past him to the bleeding man. Hey, he said, turning her face away from the mess. Don't look at that. Look at me. Carter touched her chin, gently directing her gaze back up to his face. And put your shoes on. You're quiet as a mouse. He winked at her and kissed her furrowed forehead. I wish there was a different way to handle this, Geneva said. She gripped Carter's hand, balancing on one foot, and slipped on her red bottom heels. I just feel bad about letting this happen to my brother. Stepbrother, Carter corrected. Let's not get over sentimental. Such improvement. and everything. And I like the touch. You get more of a relationship between her and Carter. Like
Mhm.
they do love each other and care for each other. And yeah. Though I do wonder. So now this begs the question. Um, so Carter said this is going to be quite a scandal for your family. Well, his wife is part of that family.
Mhm.
So I'm interested to wonder if that.
I think that was part of the let's not get over sentimental thing where he's
Yeah.
trying to draw the distinction. Like, she's his family now.
True.
She
Like the
doesn't
whole
belong
idea
to
of,
them anymore.
yeah,
She's with
she has
him.
his last name and
He's with her. That's it.
yeah, makes sense. Okay. Yeah. But no, such an improvement. I love adding the gore and
Mhm.
such. Now I will say, at least in the movies, when it comes to someone's tongue being cut off, it's not blood dribbling down the side. It's like a like spit up down the chin
Mhm.
and everything. So that would be like my only difference. But of course, that's me looking at movies, which we know is not always the best.
Yeah. Well, this does require more research,
Yeah,
which is my
which
fate.
that the FBI guys will totally support.
Yeah. They're like, who's
So
getting their tongue cut out on a marble floor?
let check her bank accounts again. Does she have something hidden somewhere? Wait. She's talking about offshore. Let's start looking there.
I just hold on, pause, cut to camera, look directly into it. Dear FBI guy, let me just save you some time. This is fiction.
Purely fiction. I had to research what it would be. Not uh I did not use this from experience whatsoever or
Right.
knowledge or prior knowledge.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Interestingly, fact. Hold on. I listened to Neil Gaiman's masterclass. I'm like at the beginning of it because
Mhm.
it's free on my what is it called? On my library app. And the in Coraline, I don't know if you remember, but there's a Coraline talks about her father standing by a hornet's nest or a wasp nest and getting
Mhm.
stung so she could run away. That was Neil Gaiman. He did that for his two kids. And he dropped his glasses and had to go back the next day. And he said, he counted 39 stings on his body, but his kids only had one or two each.
Oh, that's crazy.
But I was like, that actually happened.
I need
Like,
to go back and reread it. I just read it for the first time last year. Hi,
yeah,
Carrie. How are you? I haven't seen you
hi,
in a
dear.
minute. I hope you
I
are well.
know. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
definitely gonna have to reread Coraline now.
Yeah, but in that story, he was like, yeah, that happened to me. And he said, I wasn't scared when my kids were running. I was scared when I had to go back and grab my glasses. And that's what the dad says in the story, too, was talking about fear. But that's what gave him his barometer for like, to, for the rest of Coraline, because he only had a third of it done at the time.
Mhm.
Dobby, our king.
He is trying to put a run in my new sweater and
Oh,
not taking no for an answer.
no. All right, you ready for mine? And
Yes.
then we'll do a 30-minute timer for the next.
Okay. Ooh, there are more words here.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But I took away some too, actually.
Okay. Here we go. Frank knows the place. I walk behind him, looking around us with every step. Each vehicle turns.
No,
What?
it's hums, like the hum of the vehicles.
Oh, I need to work on my kerning here. Hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
I just need to. Um, why won't it let me
What are you trying to do?
change the text so it's not so close together?
Oh,
I cannot. Oh, maybe if I just change
the font.
yeah, because I'm having a hard time. Uh, there we go. Yeah, okay, that's better.
Carrie hasn't been able to watch in a bit, limited on what she can watch at work, but she's off today and decluttering her office. Well, we don't mind being your background noise.
Yes, happy decluttering. I did that just for my desk. The office is still a
Yeah.
campfire, but it is life changing, and I wish you all the best because this
I
is
get
important.
so much peace when I declutter.
Yes,
I'm actually excited to move
it
because we're
helps.
going to declutter.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to start from the beginning.
All right.
Frank knows the place. I walk behind him, looking around us with every step. Each vehicle hums as they pass us. Distant cars honk in time with the far-off emergency sirens. The traffic sounds are broken up by two people feuding from their windows. They could hit each other with a broomstick across the alleyway if they were mad enough. Chess players discuss philosophy outside an old hotel. I stop to study their next moves. Don't get complacent, kid, Frank says. He places his hand on my shoulder. We're here to make a deal. I promised your mom I'd get you back in one piece. Frank passes me a gun with the bullet side pointed towards him. My eyes grow wide. Frank opens his jacket to reveal another gun strapped to him. I nod and put the gun in my pocket, with the handle sticking out. We enter the old hotel. The lobby looks like it was a palace in the 70s, but now it is a forgotten time capsule. A guy and two bigger guys stand by the bar. Frank held out his hand from me walking further when we were about 10 steps away. Really, John? I thought we said it was just going to be a simple deal, Frank says. So did I, Frank, John says, nodding to me. I look behind me. Frank is eyeing the gun in my pocket and shaking his head. He's a kid. I'm not bringing him for assurance, just his first lesson on how discussions go. John sets his highball glass down and closes the gap between us. His two large bodyguards stay leaning against the wooden bar. Outside the is tall windows is downtown and the tip of a
Nakatomi, that's a dead Die Hard reference. I mean,
Nakatomi Plaza. Seeing it at a distance doesn't give it justice. Mom's place is just 3 blocks away from it, and standing at its base, we're all pretty small. I bet you could see that building from anywhere in the city, a perfect North Star. You don't need a scandal, John, Frank says, demanding a response. I look back and see John pointing his finger in Frank's face. The discussion seems to have taken a turn. Is that a challenge, Frank? John asks. He holds up his right hand as he steps back. John, we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. Let's start over. Frank holds out an empty hand. Oh, JK. Frank holds out empty hands. You made 2 mistakes today, Frank. One was thinking this could be a discussion. John inclined his head to me. The other was bringing the kid. John snapped his fingers. Frank pulled out his gun at the same time. I slammed to the floor, crawling under the tarped couch as my ears rang. One of the big guys dropped. Then Frank fell. He mouthed go as he kept his shot at John and the other muscle, never taking his eyes off his target. I pulled my gun out, lying on my stomach. I stretched my right hand with the gun pointed at the second goon. I closed my eyes and turned my head the opposite direction as I pulled the trigger. When I opened my eyes, the goon clutching his knee was clutching his knee. John was standing over Frank. I heeded Frank's words and sprinted for the door, fumbling the gun back into my pocket. When I got out on the street, I kept running towards the perfect North Star, on my way to protect Mom. A final shot echoed through the neighborhood. Ooh.
Yes.
That does change things a lot. So he's not just running away now, he's actually going to look after his mom. Who's his mom? How do they know about his mom? Who's Frank? Who's John? What are they doing?
Well, and then here's what I like is by saying a final shot echoed through the neighborhood kind of brings a note to it, but then also we left thinking Frank is going to die. Mm-hmm. What if the other way happened?
Right. We don't know if it's John who's dead or Frank who's dead, and we don't know like why are they after what even started the fight, because he's like, oh, you shouldn't have brought the kid with you, and this was never going to be a deal. So what happened? Why'd they let Frank show up thinking he's going to make a deal with John?
Mm-hmm.
I like it, and as I said last time, I would like more.
Yeah, because now I have ideas of like, what if Frank was a double agent between the rival mafia and whatever mafia that this kid is a part of? Like, what if he's playing both sides? And then, yeah, and
so
then
my question then would be, why would he bring his sister's child with him, knowing that?
He didn't know that. Or maybe he was going to take
he's been found out, and he thinks he's just showing the kid the ropes, but they already know.
Or something like that. Like, I'm having...
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, when you finish my story, I'd like to read the rest of it.
Yeah. Like, there's definitely room for expansion on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just gotta...
Shannon's out here decluttering email.
Everyone's decluttering. I need to jump on this again.
I have a box here next to my desk of stuff that I need to go through, and a lot of it needs to be shredded.
Yeah, I got tons of things to shred.
I don't want to. So I think I'm gonna have to change the font that I regularly read.
Okay.
Because yeah, it definitely...
Did you zoom in also? Did that help at all?
No, the letters were just so close together that I couldn't distinguish them.
Tracking.
And that's where I was like, but then I realized I don't... Yeah, I think the font that I usually use is also smaller. So I should just go through and look for some other... Times New Roman is... I don't know. Why does everyone like Times New Roman for submissions? It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry.
I love it when people do writing and they put personification of each of the fonts.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Yes.
I hope it wasn't anything coquettish like Helvetica.
Okay.
Have you seen that that clip of like the font where like someone got... hold on.
We must find it.
Yeah, we need it. Hold on.
It's okay. I am pulling up my fable that I plan to write about. If I can search it appropriately.
Here we go. It was from the BBC. It was a parody of What Were You Wearing? And I'm gonna send it to you. I'll also put it in the comments because
Sweet. Got it.
it is worth a watch.
I shall watch it. All right. Let's. Oh, search and browse. That's what I'm looking for. So, here's the question: do we want to say what story we chose, or do we want to write it and then we have to guess what it's a retelling of?
I kind of want to tell you in advance in case I do a terrible job. To be honest. Yeah, so that's not Helvetica don't thing. Thanks, spell check. It should say font, not don't. That makes anyway.
Okay.
Thanks so much for that. Yeah. So I thought it would only be fitting for me to go into the retelling, the stories that you read on your channel.
Oh, for Grimm's Fairy Tales.
Yes, and pick one of those. Which is why I'm like, no, if I do it badly, I think you should know in advance.
I didn't write Grimm's Fairy Tales. I just read them.
Yeah, but you know what they are. So it's not like I'm picking a retelling of something that you won't be familiar with.
Yeah. Like, I will say this because there's many of them, but I am picking one of Aesop's fables.
Ooh, that was a good idea. I have read those, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, they're very short.
The one that I picked from what you did is the fox and the golden bird.
Oh, the golden bird one? Okay.
Yeah.
The first one I did.
Mm-hmm. I picked
now I'm
that
trying
one.
to remember what that one was about. Oh,
okay, good. Don't think too hard.
Nope. I think I remember now and stuff, so we can go with it. But, so now I'm going to change our banner. Right. Edit. There we go. Just made it really simple. Oh, no, it's not supposed to scroll. There. I'm like, prompt. Retell a well-known story. Grimm's, Aesop, Andersen, etc.
I like it.
All right.
Timer.
30 minutes on the clock. Hydrate because I haven't been.
Coffee counts as hydration.
Yeah, I haven't drank anything.
You should drink coffee. I'm just kidding. Don't listen to me.
You should get addicted to this substance like I am.
That sounds terrible, but it is 100% accurate to what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Full screen. We will begin in 3, 2, and 1.
I'm happy with this story.
I don't really like mine.
You don't?
Mm-mm. I did it,
Oh.
but I don't love it. But I did it.
Yeah.
And it was harder than I thought it was going to be, but
I changed mine. Like I thought about like what the story could be yesterday when I was picking the story, but then I totally changed genders.
mm-hmm.
Because I was like, I'm tired of like these stories being about men like, and stuff.
I changed perspectives.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I
Yes. I made it modern and I changed and I made it men or women. Wow.
I switched to sci-fi.
Ooh.
I did a sci-fi time travel.
Mine's kind of like a thriller, I guess.
I also made a sandwich because I got ravenously hungry in the middle of it.
That actually sounds like a really good idea.
Which I haven't finished my sandwich, but I did get a few good bites in, and let me just tell you,
Yes.
it is amazing. This Manchester chicken, some guacamole and some cheddar cheese, mayo on sourdough, and I'm living my best life.
That just makes me hungry.
You're welcome.
Like I have plans for the day now. Okay. Are you creating a new
Yes,
Google
I'll
Doc?
just send it to you.
Okay, perfect. Let me jump over to the
Took
drive.
a shower during that sprint. Yay! Showers are the best.
God, they can make you feel human again.
It really is like you want to restart your day, but it's the middle of the day. Take a shower.
All right. I kind of want to see if people can guess, but on mine.
You want me to read it first?
Yeah, you can. I think we're good on time, but just in case. All right. Oh, wait. There we go. I kept on changing names because I wanted the names to mean something to give hints.
Mm-hmm. I did. Oh, I threw names in there just like, and it's not good. Do not judge me.
Ooh. And now I need to share the screen, otherwise chat's gonna be like, "What?
What are you talking about?" Ooh, cleaned my email and now working on YouTube Shorts. Love it.
Yes. I need to get back into like the shorts and stuff, or at least for TikTok, because now that we're doing editing, like I did editing kind of TikToks for a little bit of like, here's a sentence, here's what I changed, why I changed it, here's the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I always had to throw in, I was like, you might change more. That's the beauty about editing. Like, I'm not the law.
Ooh, Carrie's doing a letter writing challenge in February and has to go through stationery. Love that.
Oh, I wrote a letter for one of our prompts before, and it was a group. There was an email where the prompt was everyone had to go through. It was an email exchange, and it was this person hiring somebody to kill their wife, but then it came. They like backed out, but it was too late. You see that in email traffic, and then the other one.
Huh? Do we have that as a challenge to you to write an email or a letter? Is our story?
That could work. I'm trying to think of how it's a prompt because the challenges are different than the prompt, and but I can throw it in the challenge section.
Yeah, write the story as a letter.
Yeah, I think another challenge I had was write it as a recipe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think I would just go with a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
What was the last thing? I think I was saying what? I forgot. All right. Okay, and I'm gonna zoom in to make it easier. There we go. Okay. There we
go. Hem. Contessa's heels clicked with each step across the pavement. She was lost in the conversation of her Bluetooth as her eyes were glued to her phone and her fingers skated across the screen faster than her words. As she was working her deals, she was pushed down when the restaurant she was passing threw out a shabby woman in tattered, layered clothes. What the hell? Contessa said. The Bluetooth was knocked from the Contessa's ears. Her cheeks reddened until the owner of the restaurant stepped around the poorly looking woman to help her out. He offered multiple gift cards, but never once apologized. The woman that was thrown out was left to pick up her fallen change and placing it in the now broken plastic cup. And place it in the now. She looked up at Contessa and quietly said, "Would you be able to spare any change so I may eat and live another day?" Contessa had just found her Bluetooth. She paused before putting it in, rolling her eyes with a sigh and giving away one of the restaurant's gift cards she received before returning to her negotiations. As Contessa walked away, she didn't hear the woman say, "I shall repay your kindness one day." That evening, after the sun had long set, Contessa was walking through the park, bowing to avoid the restaurant in case the shabby woman was nearby. Despite not being connected to her electronics, Contessa wasn't aware of the group of people that had surrounded her until she bumped into one of them. She mumbled, "Move," as she tried to. That wasn't really a mumble, but you know. She tried to push past, but was pushed into the center of the circle instead. Not far in the park, the tattered woman heard someone say, "What the hell?" Immediately drawn to the voice, she found the group and could barely see the woman the voice belonged to as the crowd closed in. Contessa heard what sounded like monkeys, birds, bears, and horses. The group surrounding her looked about and before being pelted by rocks, pine cones, and sticks by a woman jumping and squatting around, growling at each of them. The group scattered, eyeing the suspicious character, leaving Contessa exposed. After they left, the tattered woman calmly walked to Contessa and extended her hand. "Would you like an escort out of the park?" Contessa realized the poorly looking woman. Is that realized or recognized?
Recognized. We'll go with recognized.
Contessa recognized the
correct.
poorly looking woman and smiled. She shook the woman's hand. "I'm Contessa. My name is Philomena," Contessa's protector said. "I am not familiar with this story." You said it's one of Aesop's fables?
Yep.
So I can tell that it is, but I don't remember the fables well enough to say which one.
Do you remember the two creatures?
I want to. Okay, so I'm going to say no because there's this West Indian primer that my parents had when they went to school in the Caribbean islands, and there's a story about a monkey getting an alligator to swim him across a little river.
Oh, I know that one.
For his liver. And the alligator's like, "Okay, but like I want your liver," and the monkey's like, "Okay, but it's up in the tree, so let me just go up and get it because I washed it. I took it out and washed it and left it out to dry. So I need to go back up the tree and get it." And the alligator's like, "Okay, I'll just be here." And then the monkey goes up the tree, and the alligator's like, "Hey, did you find it?" And he's like, "Shh, I always had my liver. I'm not gonna give it to you so you can eat it." For some reason, that's the story that came to mind with like the
animals.
Yeah, but I know that's not right. But that's the only story that I can.
So this one has been told a few different ways, but it's the Lion and the Mouse. um, where the lion catches the mouse and is about to eat it. But the mouse is like, hey, if you let me live another day, I'll repay you in kind.
Mm-hmm.
And the lion laughs, like, how could you help me, and stuff. And so there's two ways the story goes, but both kind of the same result. One is where the lion gets a thorn in his paw and he can't get it because he's got big finger paw stuff, but the mouse can and pulls out the thorn. The other one is the lion gets trapped by hunters and is in a net.
And the mouse chews through
through the net and saves them.
Okay, so I have to go back and reread the story because now that you said that, I am familiar and it does make perfect sense.
Yeah,
I think in the future I would have to like know for this prompt to guess it. I would have to probably read the story before I would be able to put it. Sorry.
Yeah. I had to at the beginning. That's why I also chose Aesop's Fables, because they're so short. But I had it pulled up on my phone to read it real quick before I wrote it. But I'd already read it yesterday, so I kind of had the idea that I was going to have someone poorly looking and then someone like who's wheeling and dealing rich and stuff. Then I was like, I'm going to make them women, because at first I was like, I'm tired of men being in power, so I made her a woman. But then I was like, well, the shabby tattered clothing can't be a man, because then that's the trope of like a man saving the woman and everything. So I was like, they're both women, move on.
Also, it gives the story like kind of a scary connotation of like, ooh, yeah, I wouldn't like that either. And now the guy approaching me in the park is creepy too. So yeah, I think that was a good call.
Yeah, and then with their names, Contessa is a Italian name for queen. And then the Philomena is actually the patron saint of women.
Oh, cool! I like that. You did way more world building than I did. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. It's a good story.
Okay, now your story. I'm excited.
Don't get too excited.
Let's lower the bar. Okay. All right. Ooh, you went first person. Nice. I never thought about what it would be like to live a half-life and already know what was going to happen to other people, let alone see the path of the lives of the closest to me. I didn't mean to leave them. I hoped they would understand that. I wasn't the same person they would have known, but I knew enough, I thought. When the time was right, I could make them understand. I hoped they would want me back as much as I missed them. The first chance I saw didn't come where I expected, and it wasn't just one chance. I had watched hundreds of other people. Easy enough, the way people have cameras everywhere now. The technology on my ship makes it fairly easy. I narrowed the field till it was just 3. My little sister had always been treated like a princess. She ruled the house, her circle of friends, and some even said her school. I think they gave her too much credit. But once I was sure she was into the guys who believed it, I focused on them. It was hard to tell if they were serious at first, but I found ways. I put myself in their path and told them things no one else would know. Nothing too personal, just enough to see what they would do with the information. The first guy was easy to figure out. The first time we spoke, he spat on my shoes and tried to fight me. I laughed in his face and made sure the principal at his school was watching when he took a swing at me. He spent the rest of the school year with his friends in the basement, drinking, smoking, and playing hooky. Not the kind of guy my sister would be into. The second guy was nice enough. At first. He was cool with me. We hung out and shot some pool. I let him think I lived on a houseboat instead of a spaceship. He thought it was pretty sick that my parents let me live on my own during the school year. We even threw a party on the boat. It wasn't my boat, but I made it happen. I told him some things about her, simple things, the kind of flowers she liked, things like that. It wasn't 10 minutes later, I overheard him talking to the ball team about how he was going to get into her pants. I put some pot in his locker. He was off the baseball team by the end of the week. I guess he wasn't really that good anyway. The third guy, Evan, the last one, was a mess. I didn't see much hope for Helm, but after I introduced myself, he kept inviting me over for dinner. He was always in trouble, but for the most part, it was for trying to do the right thing. I had to bail him out of jail, of course. I did. I had to bail him out of jail. Of course, I did it. He got busted for picking wildflowers for my sister. The flowers were protected. He missed the sign. One of the guys put a knife in his locker too. I had to tell the principal that the guys were mad at me, knew we were friends, and were retaliating. It was easy enough to find several character witnesses. When he finally got out, when he finally got to go out with my sister, she really did like him. It was just hard watching him go to visit my family when I could not. In the end, it was Emma who saved the day. She was the one who brought up alien abductions. She had recognized me the first time she saw the other guy swing at me. I thought she was too little to remember, but when Evan showed up with them where I parked my spaceship, I was shocked. He and Emma had figured it out pretty quickly. I guess I should have a little more faith in people. Whoa, I love this story. I can't figure out the golden bird situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I remember in Golden Bird, the main character is trying to get the princess, but he has to like steal a golden bird. Then to get the golden bird, he has to steal a golden horse, and to get a golden, like he has these like 3 missions. So I kind of get the 3 there.
So I left out the golden bird per se, like a direct correlation. Yeah. I mean, that's what the flowers were in place of, where he's like going to pick her wildflowers, but they're like protected and he doesn't see the sign. And I put that in as the objective for him to steal something. And then I subbed out like, you know, the whole brothers fighting thing for the guy putting the knife in his locker.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have that push-pull, but the 3 guys were to represent the 3 brothers. And instead of the fox being, shape-shift bound or the brother, the prince being shape-shift bound.
It was brothers. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I remember the full story. Wow, it's been so long.
So instead of him being bound as a shape-shifted fox, I just had him be a time-traveling brother.
And it's the brother of the girl.
Yeah. And she's treated like a princess, was kind of the thing, versus her actually being a princess.
I like that. It almost gave her a negative connotation of she ruled the school and everything, instead of being like with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that, but other than that, I'm getting vibes and everything. I guess the only way that I would see further correlation is if we put like the color gold or something gold in there.
Mm-hmm.
Would kind of help strengthen, or give another color, turn it to a ruby situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change it up some more. But I see some correlation. I like it.
Yeah, I didn't go legitimate, but if I would have had to have like the story right next to me and like going, you know, line.
Oh yeah, and if I remember correctly, that was one of the stories that was like 8 or 11 minutes long, and you can't just sit there and listen and try to write it at the same time.
Right.
There was one part where I got held up. I didn't quite understand Half-Life. I was thinking like maybe his like ears had been cut in half.
Mm-hmm. Something. I guess I didn't really explain that well. I think I should have changed it out. It was more or less a reference to the fact that he lived part of his life with his family, and then something happened, and now he's like watching from the outside and doesn't quite have a way to get back in.
Yeah. And then the main thing was the sisters and stuff.
Yeah, it has a lot of plot holes. I think that's probably what I don't like about it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing with these stories and stuff. Like, yeah. I almost had an alternate ending with Contessa and Philomena, where I was going to have Contessa offer for Philomena to have a place to stay, but I was like, normal people wouldn't do that. Like, it would break I feel like, the veil. if she was like, hey, you want to have a place to stay? Like,
yeah. I was kind of thinking, though, that Contessa wasn't really that nice. Yeah. So it would also be a plot twist change to the story if Philomena repays her in kind by not really being that nice. Which is just me being petty and morbid. But
I mean, though, she did give her a food card, but it was kind of annoying and everything.
Yeah, I was hoping, she gave her a card.
I wanted the character.
Just thrown her out.
Yeah, for Aesop's fable tied to it is that the lion changed his mindset, and that's what I kind of wanted for Contessa, was for her mindset to be changed.
For like a redemption arc.
Yeah, like she had this idea and stuff, and realized help can come from anyone. So
I think it could get there. It would. I mean, it's just a matter of editing, but also this was a fast first draft where we are emulating some aspects of a story that already exists, and we have to try to make it fit into the
new world.
Yeah.
So it's okay. We got time. Future Chandra and future Natalie have it handled. We've done our piece. We got the words down.
We did. We done it.
So sweet. All right. Next week, hold on, in case anybody watches this on the back end, I think next week is going to be will be on my channel, edit number 5. No, 6. Sorry. 5 is tomorrow on Twitch. Edit number 6 on my channel. But this flash fiction that we edited today was from episode 21. So I think the next one is going to be episode 23. Let me see. I'm seeing if it exists. Luckily, there's not many stories out there. Yeah, 23. Oh, that's funny. The video starts out with Spencer on my back.
Of course.
Like,
that's hilarious.
I'm like, hello, everybody. Oh, that's perfect.
Very he really does do that, though.
Yeah. He is actually playing video games. Otherwise, he'd probably be over here. So
a good distraction.
Yep. He's playing Paw Patrol. And he's gotten really good at video games. This kid is like good. Oh my God, he knows cars so well too. Like, we pull up to his speech therapy because his speech delayed, and he goes, "Look, Tesla." I'm like, "What?" Sure enough, on the other side of the parking lot is a Tesla, and I'm like, "How do you know these cars, kid? Like, what the hell?"
That's so funny. Also, kind of crazy to think, like, we've seen a new kind of car be introduced, that there are current generations who have no idea, like the timeline of how long cars have been around.
Yeah.
To them, like, oh yeah, Tesla's always been here, just like Toyota and Ford. And it's like
we think of Toyota, Ford, and like GMC and all those, like, we think of them like starting in the early 1900s and kind of group everything in that, because we know Ford had the T model in like 1911, I think. And but and then kids are going to think that Tesla was around
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
And
in
it's
that
like
time. And it's like, no.
that's
Tesla
not
decided
that.
to just like come in on the market, and somehow it was able to enter, because to be able to enter an established market to me is actually kind of an impressive
It is.
ordeal.
It really is. But I think also part of it is like the appeal to the techie side of
Yeah.
things versus like the mechanical side of things and the old
Oh, please.
school.
All the cars now, you need like a computer degree to work on them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There's like it's going to get to a point where we can't even change our own oil, tires.
Yeah. I like my car doesn't have any of the bells and whistles, and I kind of
Yeah.
like it because I still feel like I really did something when I parallel park. But
I remember being like, I was 19 or 20 or something like that. No, I had to be 21 because I'm pretty sure I was pregnant. But I took a picture of the parallel parking job I did. I remember doing this, and I was like, I parallel parked.
I did
And
that.
it didn't have backup cameras or anything.
Right.
And
Just when you're like, and it's like perfect.
yes.
And it's just
like it's because there's perfectly in line with the cars, but then you're still this far away from the curb. And then when you're like this far away and perfectly, yes.
Yeah, it's such a vibe.
Yeah. I always try to get closer to the curb than the cars behind me or in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to make sure they're jutted out more in the curb than I am.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Always.
Be like, if anybody sideswipes, I want them to hit y'all and bounce off before they hit me.
Dobby, you quit it, sir.
Man, we're done early. Look at us.
We did really good today.
We did.
I think part of that was because we were like here. Like sometimes we just be coming in hot on roller skates.
But yeah, today I was so proud of myself. I got out of bed before my last alarm at 8:15. My last alarm was 8:15, and then so I had 7:45, 8, and then 8:15, and I'm proud of myself. I got out of bed. And I mean, I was able to come down here, and we were able to make sure we caught up on the comments for episode 21. So we're good.
Y'all in the chat, I hope that you had a productive morning.
Yes, all the decluttering, you've inspired me.
Yes.
I don't know if it's going to come up to anything because I got a short story to edit. But
I have a story to edit, but before I do that, I also need to provide feedback on a project. So
always fun.
Yeah, I've got to.
Hey, but you're done with school.
I am.
How does it feel?
I am. That does make a big difference. I think I'm recovering. I have a burnout hangover.
Yeah. Well, and then also there's the question of you're like, where did I find the time to do all this? Because I feel like I still have no time.
Yes. Yeah. I was actually watching some videos about that and like how to come out of burnout.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying. I'm getting it together. But yeah, we've been consistent with this. So there's that.
We're doing great. We got to keep it going. So, all right. Well, we will bid adieu to everyone on the live stream. Thank you for coming by. It will be on my channel next week. We are going to be going over episode 23. I forget the prompt, but episode 23, and we shall, go through it then. And then if we have anything like a retelling, prompt where it's kind of ahead of time, just pay attention on our stream, on our Instagram stories, where we'll at least 24 hours ahead give you a heads up of what the prompt is in case you want to partake. So,
yeah,
all right,
that's good.
Bye, dears. Oh, I was about to say leave studio. No, in broadcast. You clicking it or mine?
No, you, because I was about to hit leave studio.
Leave studio. We're both like, see you. Right.
Anyway,
bye.
bye.